Selma Planning Commission meeting for July 27th, 2020 is now in session. Commissioner Gonzalez, would you lead us in the flag salute, please?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Catano, would you do roll call, please?
Planning Commissioner Fedor,
Here.
Planning Commissioner Garcia,
We can't hear you, Greg. Are you there?
He's on mute.
Wave your hand.
I couldn't hear my name being called, so yeah, I'm here.
Okay, thank you.
okay. Commissioner Gonzalez,
Here.
Commissioner Singh is absent by phone and video. Commissioner Sagan,
Here.
thank you. Chairman Desmond,
Here.
thank you.
Okay, I have a piece here I need to read. It's a special notice regarding coronavirus COVID-19 and attendance at public meetings. On March 4th, 2020, Governor Newsom proclaimed a state of emergency in California as a result of the threat of COVID-19. On March 17th, 2020, Governor Newsom issued Executive Order number 29-20, superseding the Brown Act related provisions of Executive Order N-25-20 issued on March 12, 2020, which allows a local legislative body to hold public meetings via telephone conferencing and to make public meetings accessible telephonically or otherwise electronically to all members of the public seeking to observe and to address the local legislative body. Pursuant to Effective Order N-29-20, please be advised that some or all of the Selma Planning Commission will participate in meetings via teleconference. Public participation. Pursuant to Executive Order N-29-20 and given the current health concerns, members of the public can access meetings streamed live online on our YouTube page. Members of the public may not attend the meeting in person. In lieu of attendance at the meeting, the public can provide public comments verbally for the Planning Commission's consideration by calling in on the number posted on our agenda. Staff will unmute the public during the public comment portion of the meeting. Alternatively, the public can send correspondence to the Planning Commission regarding agenda items by emailing scaetano@cityofselma.com or public comment at cityofselma.com with the subject line Planning Commission Meeting Correspondence Item Number. Insert the item number relevant to your comment. Or Planning Commission non-agenda items. Staff will forward correspondence received to Planning Commission. All correspondence that does not relate to a specific item on the agenda has been made a part of the official record of this meeting and will be referred to the city manager or other staff for any appropriate action or attention. Correspondence that does not relate to a specific item on the agenda will be addressed as appropriate during consideration of the agenda item to which it relates. Contact the planning/building permit technician at scaetano@cityofselma.com or telephone 559-891-2208 with any questions. Accessibility. If requested, the agenda and backup materials will be made available in appropriate alternative formats to persons with a disability as required by Section 202 of the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1920 42 USC Section 12132 and the federal rules and regulations adopted in implementation thereof. Any person who requires a disability-related modification or accommodation in order to observe and/or offer public comment may request such reasonable modification, accommodation, aid, or service by contacting the planning/building permit technician at scaetano@cityofselma.com or 559-891-2208 no later than 48 hours before the meeting. Potential conflicts of interest. Any commissioner who has a potential conflict of interest may now identify the item and recuse themselves from discussing and voting on the matter. Seeing none, oral communications, notices to the public at this time.
One second, I did want to note that Brenda Curry is,
She's present now.
She's not present yet.
Thank you. Oral communications, notices to the public. At this time, any member of the public may address the commission regarding any item over which the commission has jurisdiction. No action or discussion will be taken on any item not on the agenda. Issues raised will be referred to the chairperson for review. Members of the public shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comments?
Kira, does anybody want public comment?
Kira, you're on mute.
Sabino, I can't hear you very well. Are you asking if we have any public comments?
Yes.
We have one submitted public comment, but that's for a specific agenda item. So I believe that this time is for those items not on the agenda.
Okay. Having no
have any-
public,
Callers that wish to make public comment? I see a few callers. Sonia, Parminder, are they for specific items? Can you open their line and check?
Do I do that?
Hello, yes, we are here for Parminder.
Yes, do you have a public comment or is it for a particular
No,
item?
we don't.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Sonia,
Comments at this time. Thank you.
thank you.
seeing no public comments, we'll move on. Consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar are considered routine. The complete consent calendar will be enacted by one motion by roll call vote. For purposes of discussion, any commission member may have an item removed from the consent calendar and made part of the regular agenda. The commission can then approve the remainder of the consent calendar. Number one, consideration and necessary actions on the minutes of the June 22nd, 2020 meeting. Can I have a motion to accept?
I move to accept.
Minutes from June 22nd.
Thank you. Can you do a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. There was a vote for the minute, last meeting.
Commissioner Curry, no response. Commissioner Fedor?
Yeah.
Commissioner Garcia?
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Singh is absent. Commissioner Stickon?
Yes.
Chairman Niswander?
Yes.
Thank you. Proceed.
I apologize. I was saying yes, but for some reason it kept. This is Ramza.
Okay, Ramsey. Thank you.
Item number two, Consideration and necessary action on conditional use permit number 2020-0014. Consideration of a resolution recommending that the planning commission approve a conditional use permit to allow the selling of beer and wine type 41 alcoholic beverage license for Chicken Shack located at 2940 McCall Street, Suite 112, Selma, California, APN 358-220-39, and a notice of exemption regarding the same. Does staff have a report?
Thank you. Yes, we do. I just wanted to check. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
thank you, Chairman. Did you say 0039? I just want to make sure we're all on conditional use permit 2020-0014.
2020-0014.
Okay, great. This is a continuance from our previous meeting. This is a request to allow for the sale of beer and wine in conjunction with a restaurant. The request was made by Sonia Sadu, and the project is located at 2940 McCall Avenue in Suite 112. The project site is located in the northeast corner of McCall, well, not the corner, close to the corner of the intersection of McCall Avenue and Floral Avenue. The proposed restaurant would occupy approximately 4,500 square feet of the existing 15,000 square foot building. The entire project site with multiple buildings and parking lot was approved on December 16th of 2013. The approval included a site plan, a conditional use permit, a variance, and a lot merger. The proposed restaurant is an allowed use in the neighborhood commercial C1 zoning district. But the request for a conditional use permit is for the allowance to sell beer and wine. This would be a type 41 on sale license. And the application again required was conditional use permit, and this project is exempt from CEQA as the site has already been constructed. There are currently 29 active on sale ABC licenses in the city of Selma, and all of these pertain to restaurants that can sell either beer and wine only or beer, wine, and distilled spirits. In this case, the request is only for beer and wine. The applicant has provided this floor plan. On their application, they stated they would have seating for approximately 50 patrons with 6 to 8 employees. I know this floor plan is hard to read, especially in this presentation, but if anyone has any specific questions about the site or the floor plan, I'm happy to answer them. Staff does recommend approval of conditional use permit 2020-0014. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any questions of staff?
Nope.
Greg? No questions?
None.
I have one question, Kira. Is the parking for this site, is that adequate?
Yes, it is. When the site was developed, the variance that was requested was for a setback reduction, but there was no request for parking variance. So the number provided is consistent with the square footage.
Okay, and I went and checked that site again on Saturday morning. I don't recall seeing a handicap zone in front of this particular part of the building. Is that going to be addressed?
I can report that to building and our code enforcement division and make sure that it is addressed. They had approved their building permit would have been approved with those designs on it. And so it would be up to the building inspector to make sure that the on-site construction is consistent with what was approved. So I'll make sure that that takes place.
Well, the reason I was curious because on the site map, it does show a handicap parking, but it's more over there in front of the laundromat than it is what's going to be the restaurant.
I'd have to find out, the plans are actually reviewed outside of our building department. They're sent out. So I'd have to find out from the person who reviews the plans for ADA compliance as to whether there would be a regulation for distance from each suite entrance for handicap spaces to be provided. But I'm not 100% familiar with the ADA code and the federal regulations in effect for that.
Okay, any other questions of staff? Is the applicant available for comment?
Let me see if I can unmute.
That'd be Sonia.
There we go.
Sonia, you're muted.
I got her unmuted. There we go.
All right, cool.
Good evening.
Good evening. Did you have any questions for me?
I believe Kira said that you're planning seating in the restaurant for approximately 50 customers and 8 employees. Is that correct?
That's currently what we have, with the changing with COVID. We might end up having to change that when we open, but that's currently what it's at.
Right. I understand we're under the gun now with this virus thing, but that was the original plan though, was it not? For
That's
approximately 50 seating areas?
yes.
Okay. Does anybody else on the commission have questions for Sonia?
No.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of this project? Does anyone wish to speak in opposition? Now, are we getting out to the public now?
Karen, you might want to check see if any participant wants to talk to more about the project.
I'm looking for anyone in opposition of this project.
So we would just need to check the line of the other callers to confirm that they do not want to comment on this item. I think the only other caller I see is Parminder.
We don't. We like to favor this business.
Thank you. There appears to be no other comment, public comment.
Seeing no other comments, I'm going to close the public portion of this hearing, and I want to bring it back to the commission and for discussion and or a motion.
I got nothing to discuss.
It seems to be pretty straightforward as far as
The other 2 businesses next to that.
one is a laundromat and one's that liquor store.
Well, the liquor store is on the corner.
Mhm.
Is there something over
That's a
here?
laundromat.
The whole thing?
Yeah. They're in the process of putting it together.
I don't know if that-
If there's no
I
comments from,
move to approve.
go ahead, Greg.
I move to approve 2020-0014.
I
have a
second that.
motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
6-0. Thank you. Good luck, Sonia. Moving along, item 3, consideration and next necessary action on conditional use permit and site plan review of number 2020-0012. Consideration of a resolution recommending that the Planning Commission approve a conditional use permit to allow the issuance of a type 21 alcoholic beverage license off-site general for a new service station and mini mart at 11010 East Mountain View Avenue in Selma. APN number 393-074-02 and a notice of exemption regarding the same. Does staff have a report on this?
Yes, we do. Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. The request before you this evening is for a conditional use permit. The number is 2020-0012. They have requested an allowance for the sale of beer, wine, and distilled spirits, which is a type 21 alcoholic beverage at 11010 East Mountain View Avenue. The request was made by Parminder Singh. The project site is located near the southwest of the intersection of South Golden State Boulevard and East Mountain View Avenue. And you will find Highway 99 to the west of this project site. The request is for a conditional use permit for the sale of alcohol, a site plan review for a new service station, mini mart, quick serve restaurant, and commercial retail building. The project was determined to be categorically exempt under the exemption of infill development. The current general plan designation is regional commercial and the zoning is the same. They are consistent. And these uses, aside from the alcohol sales, are permitted by right in this zone. For this request, this is an off-sale ABC license. Currently, there are 33 active off-sale ABC licenses in the city of Selma. I do have a detailed list if anyone would like me to pull it up. And this is the site plan that was provided to us by the applicant. Again, it's hard to view in this type of presentation, but I do have a better file if anyone would like me to zoom in on any parts, or if you have any specific questions about the site plan provided, I'd be happy to answer them. A quick overview: there are fuel islands in the front with underground fuel tanks. There is the mini mart with a quick serve restaurant that includes a drive-through to the side of it, and then the commercial shell building. At this point, there were no tenants proposed, and the commercial retail is in the back. There's also an on-site drainage pond. We did receive one letter, and this is from the adjoining property owners. And I'm going to go ahead and read it because we need to enter it into the record, because we just received it today prior to the hearing, so we weren't able to include it in the packet. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. Dear Ms. Noguera, reference is made to item number 3 of the July 27th, 2020 City of Selma Planning Commission hearing regarding submittal number 2020-0012 proposed by Parminder Singh. Said entitlement proposes, among other things, a gas station and convenience store with planned vehicular access on Golden State Boulevard and East Mountain View Avenue. My firm represents Selma Crossings LLC, which contains 288 acres of mixed-use commercial mixed-use planned immediately north of the subject entitlement. In the future, the City of Selma and development projects in this area will be required to modify and significantly enlarge the interchange at East Mountain View Avenue and State Route 99. When this interchange is constructed, its precise design and footprint is unknown. Therefore, great care should be given to assure that the related driveways and other road improvements of this and other projects will not impair the development of the Mountain View interchange. Thank you for the opportunity to comment on this project. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Sincerely, Dirk Purcell, AICP. So staff's response to this comment is that the engineering department has reviewed the project and did condition the project. There are a number of conditions of approval in respect to access to the site. This project was also routed to Caltrans for their comment, and their comment letter is included in the packet, and they were able to review the site plan as presented, and there were no comments in regards to changing the design or the access to the site. If you have any questions related to this, I'd be happy to answer them, but that completes my report. And if you, with that, staff recommends approval of conditional use permit 2020-0012.
Do you have a question? Kira, to your knowledge, Selma Crossings doesn't even have any tentative plans for what their footprint's going to be. Is that correct?
They do have tentative plans, but they haven't submitted anything to us in terms of an entitlement application to move forward. I have spoken with a few, but at this point, they're prospective.
I guess my question and my concern, and what's making me uneasy, is we have an existing business, an existing property. It's already got a tenured ingress egress, and yet Selma Crossings is asking us to plan on something that we know nothing about because we haven't been privy to what they're thinking of. So to the best of your knowledge or any of your people that you work with, is this property's current ingress egress, is it suitable for what the applicant wants to do?
Yes, it is suitable. And it has been conditioned to not only suffice for the project proposed, but also to maintain consistency with surrounding properties as well.
Kara, Selma Crossings, are they planning on having competitive businesses, i.e. mini marts, gas pumps, or is it intended to be more of a mall situation, or do you have any idea what their plans are?
If you, Sonia, if you like, I'd be talking behalf of Mr. Parminder. I can answer that.
Parminder, we'll call on you in a minute. We're still dealing with staff.
Okay, thank you. All right.
At this time, I do not know if Selma Crossings would include a gas station or not. It seems to be a reasonable expectation that within a commercial development, there would be a gas station. It's a possibility. The most recent discussion I had with a developer in regards to Selma Crossing was actually proposing, was speaking to me more about housing and a Cabela's. They didn't mention this proposal or a gas station.
Okay, thank you.
I believe there's already at least 3 service stations, if not more, in the general vicinity. They're all across the highway to the west.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions of staff? Thank you, Kara. Can we hear from the
only one
applicant?
question. There's a gas station.
I'm sorry?
You said what?
Hello? The gas station on the west side of 99. Are they on City of Selma boundary or is they outside?
I'd have to look that up on a map.
They're in Selma's sphere of influence for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not in the boundary, right?
I can probably get to that information pretty quickly.
Actually, I can chime in there. I believe they are in city limits. I know for sure the north one, the one that's on the, I'm sorry, the south,
The
west.
one in the north, like Upway and Shell gas station, that one.
So yeah, it's actually located within the city limits of Selma. So yes.
Can everyone see the zoning map?
Yes.
So anything west of the freeway would most likely be in the city. In this.
Yeah, the locations they're referring to is right where you're stripping killer and then down on the other
Oh,
side.
this one?
Both of those have
Yeah,
gas.
this way.
That's true with the proposed truck wash
Yeah,
there.
that's the Shell, I believe. What is it? What it is.
Sure.
So to answer your question, yes, they are in the city limits.
I forgot to add, when I was talking about the ABC license, the City of Selma's municipal code does include density requirements as far as distance from other off-sale licenses and parks and schools. And this project did meet those requirements. So there would be no special findings needed in regards to
no
that.
density.
They are of a sufficient distance away from other sensitive uses and other off-sale licenses.
Okay. Any other questions of staff?
No,
Can we hear from the applicant, please?
Hi, good evening, everyone, city staff and council. My name is Sukhwinder Sidhu, and I have family member, Mr. Parminder, and I live in Danuba, and Mr. Parminder live in Kingsburg. I believe 3-4 miles away from the address we submit to have the gas station. I just want to let you know this gas station, what we're going to do with the future. It's going to be mini mart with a couple food court inside QSR, grab and go. Also, we're going to have a drive-through fast food, and we're talking about a major chain, maybe Taco Bell or Popeye Chicken or Starbucks. We did talk couple franchise, and they're waiting for all the planning commission to approve. And also, that site going to be future building to lease out somebody, whoever they need it. And we're going to have actually 15 to 20 employees. And number two, their investment we close to $4 million. And the gas and inside the store sale revenue wise, $9 to $11 million, I believe, per year. And if this is, I have very much about the location. Why we pick the location? Mr. Parminder, he purchased the lot, I believe, a couple of years ago, and he live local, and he own business in Kingsburg. Also, he own business on Mountain View, and that we feel like we are local. And he like to have the opportunity in Selma, in the community, and there are freeway traffic. There are across the street we have the Swami Market. There are a lot of traffic coming from east, and day or night or 24 hour. I think Mr. Parminder, he really strong about his investment, and we like to have have the opportunity to serve that community and to have business there. And thank you very much, and thank you for everybody time. If any question, we love to answer.
Any questions?
no,
I have a question. Do you have an agreement with a company that has agreed to supply the gasoline for your station?
We don't. We're working on that. There's going to be some franchise. We're talking about Flying J, and we're talking about some type of different whatever across the street. This location going to be future location and totally different than whatever a neighborhood have it within 5 miles. But this point, we don't have any agreement with any gas company, but we're working with the couple.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
no.
Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of this project?
I'm in favor of it.
Does anyone wish to speak in opposition of this project? Do we have anybody from the public that wishes to make a comment? Seeing or hearing none, I'm going to close the public portion of this hearing and bring it to the council or the commission for discussion and a motion. Any questions, any comments?
So all we're doing is, we're doing a site plan review
Actually, what we're
and we're
doing,
doing the alcohol.
the alcohol, a conditional use permit for
And,
the selling of beer, wine, and distilled spirits.
and the site plan review.
We're not doing a site plan review per se.
Oh, okay, so we're just, because on top here it says,
Well, we've reviewed the site.
Right.
Ingress, the
but that's
egress,
not
the
what we're dealing with
buildings,
right
yeah.
now.
We're basically here to approve or deny a conditional use permit to sell.
For the alcohol.
Yeah, it's just too bad we didn't know what the Golden Selma crossing was gonna bring in, because if it is residential,
It's
how
basically,
is that gonna
the original proposal for the Selma crossings was basically retail.
retail?
There were a couple name brands that were gonna be kind of like anchor stores.
Cabela's was mentioned.
Yeah, but Cabela's is now part of Pro Bass or something like that, so who knows? But whatever that is, that's gonna be a separate entity. What they're trying to do is get the jump on the deal here and get their
Yeah.
project up and running.
It won't affect anything that's, you mentioned residential going in there. Is it
There's some proposed housing, I believe it
housing over
goes,
100 acres?
oh yeah, it goes from, what is that, Ben F?
288 acres.
288.
For the commercial thing. But the housing goes clear over to Ohio.
Oh, okay.
All that stuff got put into options. And, you know, this whole, like I say, this whole thing's been bubbling away for like 15 years.
It's
Glenn,
project east of.
There's eventually gonna be,
Dockery,
yeah,
everything going. east
there's
of
eventually gonna be a grammar school out there.
Dockery, Right?
Chairman Nicewander, I have a question, please.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Or maybe, I don't know if Kira can answer that. Since we already have 33 ABC license for off sale in Selma, do we get to a point where ABC says no more licenses for that city?
There can be, sometimes it's based on census tract. So it wouldn't be by the city, it would be by census tract, and they have a certain number that's recommended. And some cities do have moratoriums on their number of licenses available. And in that case, an applicant would have to purchase an ABC license from someone else in that census tract in order to get one. So maybe the applicant can let us know if they're as a part of, sometimes ABC does a lottery for these types of licenses, and sometimes you purchase one from someone else. So I'm not sure what the situation is in this case.
Yeah, so that was my question. Like, are they available right now if we approve this, or are they going to have to go search for one?
Mr. Singh, would you be able to answer that question?
Yes, we're going to, this not going to be brand new license, and there are lot of licenses surrender, and we're going to buy the license that already been in the county or in the state. And the for sale, there's going to be huge license. It's not going to brand new license.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? I'll entertain a motion. Nobody wants to make a motion?
I don't want to read it.
page where it says subject.
He's getting ready.
Somebody make a motion. I'm getting hungry.
You don't have to read the whole thing. You can say, make a motion to approve conditional use permit and site plan review 2020-0012.
I can pull
I'll
it
make a
up.
motion. Did somebody else make one?
No.
Okay.
go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we approve that conditional use permit and site plan review.
I'll second it.
That's
Submittal,
2020-0012.
yes, 2020-001.
I have a motion. Can I have a second?
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Greg, you're opposed. Is that correct?
Aye.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's just a lag in the.
It's a lag. Congratulations, Mr. Parminder.
Thank you. Give us the opportunity, and we love to see you, and we love to serve the community. And thank you very much, every single person, whoever involved with the project. Thank you again.
Item number 4, consideration and necessary action on general plan amendment and rezone number 2020-0009. Consideration of a general plan amendment and zone change application to allow the filed by the City of Selma to change the general planned use designation from medium density to high density and a zoning designation from R17 to R-4 of a 9.1 acre portion of a 9.9 acre parcel, APN 385-220-13. An initial study, subsequent negative declaration in the City of Selma General Plan Update 2035 EIR regarding the same.
Thank you,
Does
Commissioner.
staff have a report?
Yes, this is Eric Vonberg with Rincon Consultants. We've been hired by the City of Selma to assist with this project. This has been the ongoing project to get the city's housing element into conformance with the HCD requirements, and which was to have a minimum of 8.5 acres rezoned to R4 zone district to allow for at least 169 units to be developed. So this is the last step in that process. We created the R4 zone district, and now we've identified this parcel of land with Mr. Nagra, the owner, a willing participant in this process, to rezone his property to the R4 zone district. And this will allow up to 218 units to be built on this property. That's 136 more than that is currently allowed. This project also then brings the project in consistency between the zoning, your zoning code, and your general plan amendment, which it's currently not consistent. As you stated, we prepared an initial study that was circulated for 20 days. We did not receive any comments on that study. And it is staff's recommendation to approve this project, or to recommend approval to the City Council, to then allow for your housing element to become in compliance and then be able to participate in the grant programs that are available through HCD. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of staff?
No.
Basically what we're doing by rezoning this, as I understand it, as we're coming into compliance with the required density housing, is that correct?
That is correct.
And that will free up some of the funds that are being withheld because we're not in compliance.
That will free some of that up. It will also allow us to apply for grants and other money that we cannot now apply for.
So it's not required that they be built. It's just required that the zoning is available.
There's nothing planned to be built on it right now. It is required that the zoning be made available.
Gotcha.
Any other questions of staff?
That are already incorporated in the city limits,
I,
or is it just in spirit of influence?
that's something you might want to ask Kira.
You hear that question, Kara? Is that already included in the city limits, within the city limits, or is it
Yes.
just in the city influence?
Yes, this property is in the city limits right now.
I have an exhibit I can pull up.
It's all ag now,
Right.
right? Behind the Sikh temple.
Yes.
What does that do to property value?
What? The density housing?
The rezoning, yeah,
Well,
depending
That's
what you're
kind of
looking
a-
for.
that's kind of a trick question.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Put a lot around it.
Kind of depends on what's near it.
Yeah, what develops around it that will
Right.
keep the value or raise the value.
Kind of landlocked where it is.
Yeah.
That's why it's
Any,
So we're just
just
making the
become-
state happy.
We are making the state happy, hopefully, yeah. That is the goal.
Okay,
we're meeting a state mandate.
fair enough.
But we're opening doors for ourselves to be able to apply for.
Now, isn't, you said in the general plan, there's a school going in out that way, you
No.
said earlier?
That's down here by
That's
Selma
further this
Crossing.
way? Okay.
The portion of the property that's not included in this project is designated for park space. And that would be in the sort of the southwest corner.
Right.
Green space like a park with grass and all that.
Yes, exactly.
Does anyone else have any questions of staff?
Would that park space be gifted to the city of Selma?
It's currently not part of this project, so because we just included the lands that were currently the medium density residential and then redesignating that to the high density residential. So it's not part of this project.
So there's no one to maintain or develop the park, correct?
Right. Well, right now it's just going to stay just as whether this project gets approved or not. It's just designated as park space. So it doesn't really change that property at all.
Project. Is there a project in the pipe?
No, it's
No.
just
Okay,
changing the zone.
okay. Yeah.
Will the
Does
develop-
anyone else wish to speak in favor of this project? Does anyone wish to speak in opposition of this project? Do we have anyone from the public who wishes to make a comment on this project? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion of this and bring it back to the commission for discussion and or a motion.
What I've noticed for the last few meetings over the last year is that a lot of apartment complex projects come across our table. And I understand that there are state standards that need to be met as far as affordable housing in communities. Is this what we can expect to be going on for a while? Or is this, I guess my real question is this holding up other development in the city of Selma, residential development, because we're out of compliance?
Yeah,
I can only get about every other word.
have some issues with their, what's called the regional housing needs allocation. So that's what the state provides to each city, the housing that they're supposed to provides for the state. So this project is helping with that process there of providing additional housing units as was stated in your earlier housing element.
This is not holding up any other housing production or other projects. In fact, bringing this into compliance will be a benefit to any potential problems later, helping to avoid them.
Yeah, if we get the SB2 funding that we've applied for that has been withheld from us because of our non-compliance, we would hope to use that money and additional grant money for revising the code, implementing permit software. All of those things are designed to allow for more housing to be built, both single family and multifamily. So they're definitely a pro-development and would be of great benefit for the city for those things to be updated and improved.
How much money are we missing out on by not being in compliance?
The first,
Talking, go ahead.
the very first grant, SB2, is 160,000, but there's a LEAP grant and a, Teresa, do you remember the second one, the third one?
There's LEAP and then there's REAP, but the SB2 is the one that they are withholding because of the compliance, and we need to have this finished up here in the next month or so to make sure that we encumber those dollars for the city's benefit.
So what was that amount? I missed it.
160 for the first amount. The SB2 grant is 160,000.
So it's 160,000. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other comments?
I'm a little concerned that, I know this is the message was sent out and it was posted and everything was legally, but the fact that we didn't hear anything from the Gurdwara that's right just east of it, or sorry, north, I really want to get their opinion. I think we should hear from them to see if they have objections or they have issues. That's a pretty big complex.
Can you repeat the name that you were concerned of? Because we do have the mailing list of those individuals who were mailed a notice. So anyone within 300 feet of any of these property lines, all the property owners were mailed a letter personally letting them know about this proposal.
I was talking about the Sikh church, the Gurdwara, that is just north of it.
They were on the list. I'll bring it up right here. So we have the Sikh Center of Pacific Coast, and then we have a Nagra and a Singh family listed.
Hardy Nagra is the one that's proposing the development. The one in the middle is, and none of them responded.
No. The letter provides my email and phone number and also the public comment email, and kind of how we got the comment from Selma Crossings through the public comment email is how we received that letter. Usually I receive phone calls, and we didn't receive any phone calls on this or letters. Usually people will give me a call and they'll ask me questions, and then they'll submit a letter upon my recommendation to do so, or they'll attend a meeting. But in this case, I didn't receive any phone calls.
Okay,
and they'll have another opportunity to comment at the city council meeting.
True.
Okay.
Okay, we have no public comments, so I'll entertain a motion.
I'm not making a motion on this one. I'm not going to make a motion on this one.
I'll make a motion in favor.
Okay, your motion is to consider and take necessary action on general plan amendment and rezone number
Yeah.
2020-0009. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, that's
Thank you.
correct.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes 6-0. Oral communications, notices to the public. At this time, any member of the public may address the commission regarding any item over which the commission has jurisdiction. No action or discussion will be taken on any item not on the agenda. Issues raised will be referred to the chairperson for review. Members of the public shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes. Does anyone have anything they wish to communicate to the planning commission? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I have a motion. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.